Governor E.J. Davis may have been in charge, but he was not totally in control. Feuds and personal vendettas broke out across the state in the chaos following the Civil War. New insults and old grievances led to famous grudges, including the early Hasley feud, which blazed from 1865 to 1869. The extensive Taylor-Sutton feud began with the murder of black soldiers in 1866, but boiled across Texas for the next decade. The Lee-Peacock feud rumbled on the northwest Texas frontier after 1867. Even so, President Ulysses Grant readmitted Texas on March 30th, 1870, making it the third time it had joined the United States in 25 years. Davis knew he needed capable men to settle the turmoil. This included former Confederates. On July 1st, 1870, Davis commissioned Leander McNelly, who had served through hard fighting in New Mexico, Texas, and Louisiana, as one of 4 captains in the Texas State Police. This force of nearly 1,000 men began to tamp down the violence that had plagued the past 5 years. At the same time, there was impressive growth across the state. By 1870, the population of Texas was past 800,000, a third more than had lived there just a decade before. There was a series of homestead laws that encouraged settlement into Texas, as well as expansion of existing homestead exemptions. The state also created an immigration bureau. The racial and ethnic composition of Texas remained largely as it had been. 1 in 4 Texans were African Americans. Fewer than 1 in 10 had roots in Mexico. The rest, more than 65%, were whites with family ties to the American South. Farmers who had planted corn under Confederate law once again turned to cotton. This oversupply dropped prices, but the state government encouraged the crop, as well as wool production, through subsidies. Cotton production passed its pre-war levels. The importance of agriculture allowed hints of the old social and racial order to reassert itself in Texas. Slavery was replaced by sharecropping and tenant farming. Landless laborers worked other people's fields in exchange for a share of the crop, usually half of what they raised. Farmers, called tenants, who owned their own animals and tools, would get an even larger portion. Unlike slavery, this new labor system incentivized workers to be productive. There were also challenges to sharecropping. Times were lean until that payday, and often laborers were in debt to the landowners or local merchants until the cotton went to market. A bad crop or falling prices would mean disaster for landless families. While it was based on free labor, it was also supported by a body of laws that made sure that the labor remained in place until all those laborers paid their debts. The flexibility and economic mobility promised by sharecropping often proved illusory. While better than slavery, sharecropping proved to be a different kind of hard.